And in a shocking turn of events, I'm wearing my other glasses. Hey howdy, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do my August wrap up. I got a new phone, so hopefully the video quality is better. It is still on a phone, so it's not gonna be great, but I'm doing what I can, okay? I had a not stupendous reading month. I always get really into like a reading slump in the summer for some reason. Like June, July, I just have a hard time and I don't know why. It happened last year too, but last year it lasted until like November or October, so I'm hoping that that's not gonna happen this year. It doesn't seem to be. It seems like I'm kind of coming out of it. I finished like 3 books right at the end of the month, like one after another, so hopefully that trend continues. But if not, I guess I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry because, you know, what are you gonna do? But I did read some books this month, not as many as I have in past months. I read 6 books this month, 3 of them being graphic novels, so not that hard of reading, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna forgive myself. We're gonna do better next month. We'll see how it goes. I did finish 2 of the books this month that were on my list of books that I needed to get to in 2020, so I'm proud of myself for that. And without further ado, let's get into the wrap up. The first book that I read this month, I read while I was on vacation, and that is The Au Pair by Emma Rue. This book I've had on my shelf for about a year now, and I saw it, it came out last year, I believe. And I saw it and I just really liked the cover and I wanted to pick it up, so I did. It was all right. It wasn't like the greatest mystery I've ever read, that's for sure, but it did have a really great setting. This book is set on the coast of England in the UK. It's set on like a mansion on the coast. And there is a pair of twins, there's no other number of twins. Twins are 2. Anyway, there's some twins and their dad just passed away, so they and their older brother are kind of figuring out what happened with that. While the girl, twin Serafina, is looking through her dad's old photos, she finds a photo of just one baby and the parent, and so she's confused and she starts looking into the history behind her family and her mother's suicide and the au pair that was their nanny at the time, and secrets are revealed and mystery ensues. Like I said, this book had a really great setting and also really strong characters. All the siblings were really strong characters. There was the au pair, who was also a really strong character. The mystery, however, I did guess within the first 12 pages, I think, is how long it took me. I don't always downgrade a book because of this, because I have watched countless mystery shows, read countless mystery books, and so at this point I can pick up on them pretty quickly unless they're very, very obscure. So I don't always downgrade a book because of that, but this one was definitely a little too quick for me. Like I said, within 12 pages I knew what it was. There was, however, more complex details to it than I initially thought there would be, so it at least had that going for it. And I also really liked the ending, because it was one of those endings where just everything gets tied up so nicely and there's no questions left in your mind, no plot holes. It really feels like it covered everything. So I did enjoy that aspect of it. Overall, I gave the book 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read this month, because at this point in the month I was having a really hard time reading the books that I had chosen to read and I just wasn't getting through them. So I picked up The OK Witch by Emma Steinkilner. I guess I read a lot of books by people named Emma this month because the last one was also by an Emma. But this graphic novel was absolutely darling. I talked about it in my book haul and how freaking cute it was, and the story definitely paid off. It was so cute and so heartwarming. I really hope they turn this into a series because I feel like there's so much more that these characters could do and where these characters could go, and I would just really like to see more set in the same world. The main character, Moth Hush, is such a little sweetheart. She is just this little out of place witch girl who is just fighting to be herself in the world, and I just loved her so much. My heart, she lives in my mind rent-free now. I love her so much. Also, for such a short little graphic novel, there was so much depth to the story. There was a lot of really great points and lessons, and I just absolutely thought it was darling. This is the only book that I gave 5 stars to this month. So great job to the OK Witch. You win an award. Hooray, you're the only book Avery actually liked. And then I read another graphic novel. Well, this isn't a graphic novel, it's actually a manga, and that is Dead Man Wonderland Volume 4. I started reading Dead Man Wonderland I think about a year ago, and I've just been kind of slowly working my way through the volumes. This is Volume 4. Dead Man Wonderland is a story of a boy who is accused of a crime that he did not commit and is sent to a prison called Dead Man Wonderland. This book takes place after the apocalypse. There's been an earthquake in Japan that has wiped out a ton of the population and a ton of the cities. So he is sent to Dead Man Wonderland, which is a prison / amusement park where they make the prisoners fight and work at the amusement park, and then if you're a dead man, if you're chosen to be a dead man, then you fight other dead men in like a battle royale, Hunger Games kind of kill each other situation. In this book, you are getting, I don't want to spoil anything, but you're getting like really into the politics of Dead Man Wonderland and kind of how the different groups work. The main character gets in with this group of rebels that are trying to escape Dead Man Wonderland. And this whole volume, the thing that I really didn't enjoy about it was mostly just one big fight scene, which I get is essential in some mangas, and sometimes when editions come out you really can only fit the one fight scene in the edition, so I'm not blaming it for that, but it just wasn't personally my favorite. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And then the next book that I read in the month of July was yet another manga. They were just like, at this point in the month, they were just the only thing I could get through for some reason, and so I just kept picking them up and reading them because they were the only thing I could read, and my other books just really weren't doing it for me. So I read Witch Hat Atelier Volume 3. This volume was adorable. Witch Hat Atelier follows the story of a girl named Coco who is exposed to witchcraft after a situation happens to her mother, and she is sent to a workshop to train with other apprentice witches. And she is sort of the outcast of the group. She's not like all the other apprentice witches that have been training since they were like little kids. So she's the new girl on the block. And in this edition, she's finding out that she has a lot more power than she thought she did. She is also being hunted down by an enemy group of witches, so they're involved, and I'm not going to tell a bunch more because I don't want to spoil it. But this book is absolutely darling. The 4 main girls that are the witch apprentices are just so sweet and so cute and are just so dynamic in a way that you wouldn't expect. It was very enjoyable. I guess I lied. I did give Witch Hat Atelier Volume 3. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars as well because I just think it's so stinking cute. I'm excited to read the other ones. I think through Volume 5 is out right now, so I have a couple to catch up on. I also love how the magic in this series centers around writing and art. It's very like writing centric, which I really enjoy as well. And they also introduced a new character that you got to see a little bit of in the last volume, but he's this little colorblind boy that wants to be a witch, but he can't be a witch because he can't see colors, which are like really important because, like I said, it revolves around art, so it's really important that they are able to see colors. And he's just the sweetest little thing. I want to protect him with everything that I am. And then the next book I read, I don't have a physical copy of because I read it as an ebook, but it was Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, which I read in preparation for Midnight Sun, which actually comes out on the day I'm filming this. And I'm very excited. I've pre-ordered it, so I'm just waiting for it to show up on my phone. It was a reread, obviously. I've read Twilight before. I used to be a huge Twilight stan when I was in like 7th and 8th grade. I read all of them and I just loved Edward so much, and so this was a reread, so I was able to get through it fairly quickly. I did enjoy it. It was just as entertaining as I remember it being. There was a lot of stuff though that I had kind of forgotten about that was just like, oh my god, why is this a thing? For example, Bella's one personality trait is being clumsy, which is not a personality trait, but that's for some reason all she has to offer. Like, if I took a drink for every time that she fell down in the book, I'd be wasted. I wouldn't be able to read the book. That's how much she falls down. And it's just weird to me that that's such a distinct character trait. Like, I don't understand why that has anything to do with the story. So that was weird. And also I didn't realize when I read it the first time that they fall in love after like one day. Like, they hang out for real for one full day and then they're like, I'm in love with you forever, which is weird. The whole thing's just weird. But it was still highly entertaining. The only thing I really would say that it has as far as literary merit goes is that sometimes Stephanie Meyer does have really good setting descriptions, and I don't understand why she can't write her characters as well as she can write her settings, because then it would probably be a brilliant book, but instead it's just kind of eh. So overall, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, but I am, I think, going to try to pick up New Moon this month because I want to continue and reread the whole series because it's so nostalgic for me and I'm able to get through them so quickly, and it was just so nice to be back in that world that I just remember loving so much. So I am going to try to pick up New Moon this month, and then also, of course, Midnight Sun. And then the last book that I read this month was one of the ones that I started at the very beginning of the month, and it took me pretty much the whole month to get through, and that is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. I wanted so badly to love this book. I wanted to just fly through it, but I just could not. The syntax, I think syntax is the right word. Is that the word that you use for like accents and stuff in English? Sorry, it's been a while since I went to college. But this book has some Kansas dialect and it's so heavy. It's like, cause obviously it's a nonfiction book and it's a true crime book, so half of the book is just relaying what people have said in interviews, and the things that the people in this town, just the way they say things is so hard to get past because they just talk like hillbillies. And so I had a really hard time getting through it for that reason. I just felt like I was dragging along, which made me never want to pick it up because I felt like every time I read it, I wasn't getting hardly anything read in it. The actual writing, like Truman Capote's writing and the way that he set up this novel was really impressive. I did really enjoy it, and I thought it was really strong in a literary sense, but it just, the fucking dialect just really messed me up. I want to read more by Truman Capote to see if I would like his other stuff more, but this one in particular, sorry, my boyfriend just walked into the room, now he's staring at me. This one in particular, I just had a hard time with, and like I said, I wanted so badly to like it. And I don't know if also maybe I didn't like it as much because of my reading slump, like maybe because I was having a harder time getting through any book. This one particularly was giving me a hard time, so I wonder if I read it at a different time in my life, I would enjoy it more. But right now, it just wasn't the time. It was, however, on my list for books that I wanted to read in 2020, so I did it, I read it, I got it done. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars overall. And that is all that I read in the month of July. I did read enough to meet my Goodreads goal. I have read 51 books so far this year, which is insane to me. Like, I barely made 50 last year, and here we are a little over halfway through the year, and I've already hit 51, so I am so excited to just keep reading and keep getting more stuff done and hopefully hit a much higher number than I thought I would. So yeah, that's all I have for today, I think. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can do that. If you didn't like this video, then you can get lost. That's all I have. Bye.